Hey, algebra class. I hope you are all ready to go, and knowing you guys, you are. You have your binders open. You have your pencil in hand. You are in a position of learning. All right, so I have the warm-up here, and I did want to have you do just 2 of these. Then I'm gonna just have, just wait a minute while you do them. I want you to just do number 2 and number 4. So let's start with 2. Go ahead and find the slope, please, of those 2. And I'll just wait here a second for you to do that. Remember, slope, you just subtract the y's on the top and subtract the x's in the bottom. All right, you should all have an answer by now, I think. And yeah, so let's just take a look. Make sure you guys are all being quiet so everybody can hear. It's hard if you're not quiet. The slope would be, y's are 8 and 2. So I'm going to do the 8 minus the 2 over negative 2 minus 4. Negative 2 minus 4. So 8 minus 2 is 6, and negative 2 minus 4 is a negative 6, so the slope is a negative 1. Did you get that? Yes. Good. All right. Number 4. Write the following equation. We're going to be doing this in today's lesson, so I just need to review these 2 things just to make sure we're moving forward on the right basis here. Write the following equation in slope-intercept form. Remember, this is slope-intercept form. We're going to learn a different form today, just for you to be familiar with. But remember, if you're trying to get something in this form, it means you're basically solving for y. Exactly. So either try number 4. I'm just going to wait here. But you need to do what first? Distribute, yes. Get rid of those parentheses first. So distribute that 3 by both things inside the parenthesis. You're multiplying it by both. Then draw your line, circle your variable, which is your y. You're solving for y. And then move the 5. Okay, look up here for a second. Did you have this? Did you multiply the 3 by this and get 3x plus 6? Okay, good. Draw your line, circle the one you're solving for, and move the 5. Make sure you slide the 5, over under the 6, because you wouldn't be able to add a 5 to the 3x. That's not going to help. Those aren't like terms. So you have the y left here. The 3x is still there, but the only things you can combine are the actual numbers. So it's plus 11. Okay, so we're going to be doing that a little bit more today. That was review. That we have done. And I'm going to flip over, and you can do the same and take a look at this new form. Point slope. Now, these people, these wise people in math, this was slope intercept is what you learned in the past and what you just practiced. Y equals mx plus b, where this was the slope and this was the y-intercept. Interesting for a name for this line, slope-intercept, right? Because the 2 variables in there were the slope and the intercept. Well, guess what? Point slope. The reason they call it point slope is because you have the slope And now, instead of a y-intercept, you have a point on the line also in here. And you're like, well, where? Well, it's right here, and I'm going to highlight, darken it. Here's your x, and here is your y. So those two parts put together give you, remember, don't let those little sub ones confuse you. That's just differentiating it from this. Those little ones don't mean really anything other than it's different than that. Okay, so here's your point, x, y, here's your slope. This y and x right here is just like this y and x here. They just stay in the equation because there's infinitely many points, so you always would need those variables in there. Okay, so there's three things we're going to work on now with that. Don't worry, I don't expect you to have that down quite yet. We're going to learn how to write linear equations using that form. We're going to learn how to graph using that form. And then lastly, we're going to be able to use this form to write that equation in slope-intercept. And that's what you were just practicing. That if you had it in this form, can you solve it like we just practiced and get it in this form? This is the most commonly used form. But you still need to be familiar with this somewhat. Okay, and it still is used. It's just this is more prevalent because it's so easy to graph from. All right, so let's get going. I think you're going to like example 1. It's really straightforward. So if your ears are open and you're paying attention, this part you will not have any trouble with. I can guarantee it. All right, so when you look at this, let's look at what they're giving us. They're giving us a slope, which is 1/6, and they're giving us a point, 5,1. A slope and a point. Write an equation in point slope form for the line with the given slope that contains the given point. Okay, so I got this slope and I've got this point. So let's take our equation up here and I'm just going to rewrite it. So I'm going to just do something very, very, very tricky here. So I don't want to confuse you and all, but I'm just going to use erasable colored pen for the parts that we're taking out. Oh, not taking out the equal sign, are we? This might be a little too much for me to handle. Let's see. Equals the slope all right. So those are the parts you're substituting in. I know the color choice isn't the best here. In fact, I'm going to do this in blue so that it is a little more contrast. But I think it will make it clear then that these are the parts you're substituting in for. The rest of it stays the same. So when I have my slope is 1/6, great. I'm going to put that 1/6 in place of my slope m. I'm just going to take the m out and put the 1/6 m. Put the 1/6 in for the m. Point 5,1. Great. You know that a coordinate is listed in xy form. So x is my 5. That's going to be my 5. You can say x1. That helps you. y1. And the y is the 1. Right? They're in the same form. So let's go in there and do that. Y minus, what was the y? It's over here. 1 equals, what's the slope? Right here. 1/6. 1/6 parenthesis x minus, and now I put in the x1. x1 was the 5, the first coordinate. That's it. You don't have to do any more. You're done. That's the answer. Isn't that cool? So again, let's do this. So y minus equals parenthesis. I'm just putting the things that stay so that it's a little different here. Y equals y. Okay, so you're substituting in there. You're going to put something in place of the m. What are you putting in place of the m? The slope. You're going to put something in place of the x1. Where's x1? Right here, comma. You're going to put something in place of the y1. Where's that? Right here. All you do is put the values in. This is your m. This is your x1. This is your y1. So let's do it. Y minus. Y1 is a -3. So notice the y. This is negative. This is subtracting. Now I substitute in a -3. So be careful you don't lose a sign. Slope is -4 times x minus x1 is 0. Now, I'm going to show you how you can break that down a little bit more, but I would be fine if you leave it just like that. Now, could you look and say minus subtracting a negative is the same as adding 3? Of course. And could you say x minus 0 is just x? Yes. So I would accept it if you broke it down, but you can leave it just like that. It's fine. Okay, I want you to see all on your own now. And you know what the great news is? If you are confused at all, Mrs. Peters can replay the video. Yes. So make sure you're paying attention so you understand what to do. All right, I'm just going to wait for you to do C now. Okay, I'm guessing those that have it down have at least copied the equation, so I'm going to do the same. All right, so this y, stay or go, class? Stay, good. Minus, what's y1? Where is y1 up here? Ding! Right there, -4. M, where's m up here? Ding! x1, where's x1 up here? Well, let's think. The only one we haven't used is right there. Done. Again, you could, subtracting a negative as a positive, you could rewrite this. Don't have to. Either way is fine. At least for now. Okay, so that's number 1 objective. How are we doing? Not too bad, right? Whoa, okay. Next up, we're going to graph these. So, I should have put little graphs on here, but I didn't. So, we will make some. So I'm going to put a little graph right here, and you guys can work on this too. So just make your little XY. And I think if we go just 4 in each direction, it'll be fine. So do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now we're doing the opposite. So you have to take the information out of the equation. Up here you took the information and put it into the equation. Now we're going this direction. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite the equation under it to help you. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So you can see if you line it up just perfectly exactly what everything is. So what is the slope? That's our m. Good, it's 2. And what is the coordinate? What's my x1? 3. And it is 3, not -3, because remember this subtraction is part of the form here. The only time that would switch to a -3 is if you saw a plus here. It's actually the opposite. But if you see just the subtraction, that's the way it's supposed to be. Same here. That's the way it's supposed to be. So my answer is 1 for the y. Okay, we can go ahead now and plot. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get a point on there. We can't do the slope until we get a point. So put 3, 1 on there. 1, 2, 3, and up 1. Okay, so that's my coordinate 3, 1. And now we're going to do slope. So slope is rise over run. So 2 over 1. We're going to start here. We're going to rise 2, 1, 2, and we're going to run 1. Run. And you're going to take those handy dandy straight edges out. And connect them. And voila. Beautiful. Okay. Let's get the next one set up. Let me see how much we need here. I think we need to go up about 7 on this one, so maybe a little bit smaller. And it's all above the line, so you can do more of a graph like this. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that should be a good enough graph for this. Then what I want you to do, I'll write the equation under it, and I suggest you do this if you're struggling at all. And I would like you now to see if you can come up with the slope and the coordinate. You need both to pull both out and be very, very careful about your signs. Try it. Zevia down the wrong pipe. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm hoping you found the slope. That's the easiest part to grab. That is 3/4. And now our x and our y. If you notice, in our equation, they're both subtractions. And when we look up here, we have a subtraction and a positive. So this one's going to be the same because we want that subtraction there. So the 4, the y, is just a 4 just like it is there. But the problem is that this is going to be the same as subtracting a -2, right? Adding is the same as subtracting a negative. So we want that to be the subtraction. Therefore, my answer is a -2. So it's always the opposite if you see a plus sign, ultimately. Okay, if you see the subtraction, good to go, just grab the number alone. If you see a plus sign, you have to switch that sign. All right, so let's plot the sign, -2, 4, -2, and then up 4. And now from that point, not from the origin, from that point, we're going to do rise 3, run 4. Okay, ready? Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we grab your straight edge. There you go. Okay, one more. I need you to, let me get the graph here. The graph is going to be on the lower part. So we're going to set the graph up like this time. That's your XY. Go ahead and try to get the slope and the coordinate. All right, so the slope then is 0. And the coordinate is, let's see here, again, these are subtracting, but when I look up here, only one of them falls in line with the formula. So that one stays the same, the one that's the subtracting. Oops. That is incorrect, incorrect. Got my handy dandy white out, my brand new one, just got it out. That is my X, not my Y. So that is 4. And what about this now? That changed to a plus. And what did we just say about when it's a plus? The sign switches, so it's -3. Oh, we got a slope of 0. What kind of skiing is that? That's right. We're talking cross-country skiing. We're talking about a horizontal line. So 4, 3. 1. Oh, I didn't go far enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And there is no slope, so I don't need to plot another line. I know it's going to be a horizontal line right through there. No slope, 0, right? And I missed the line, unfortunately, but you get the point. Should be going right through that. So that's the second part. So far so good. The first part was just popping those points in the formula, or those numbers. The second part was learning how to take the formula and pull out the slope and the point and graph it. And now you are going to figure out how to put them in the formula. That part's the same. Actually, I'm just going to think for 1 second. I think there's a little different way I'm going to approach this with you guys here. So I think this might be easier. So let's try this. There's 2 ways you can approach these problems, and I'm going to go back to plan A. I think it typically syncs better. What equation is this? Correct. That is this one right here. Slope-intercept form. And they asked you to write it in slope-intercept form. So there's the equation. Now, we need 2 things to be done with this. We need to know the slope of this line, and we need to know the y-intercept. Do you have either of them? Yes. Which one? Correct. You have the slope. So let's put that in there. Now, if I only knew this, I'd be done with the problem. Okay? But I don't. I only have this other random point. It's one of the infinitely many points that's on this line. It's not the y-intercept, by the way, either. It's just some random point on the line. So what I think is the easiest is for you to substitute the x in here and the y in here. And then we're going to solve it to figure out what b is. And then go back and put it in. I know, that sounds kind of confusing, but wait and let me show you, okay? All right. I'm going to take and put the negative, well, I'm going to do the y first. So the y was 4. So I'm going to put 4 in here equals 3 times the x, which is a -1. Don't forget your parenthesis. Plus b. So do you see, by taking this one point and putting it in here, now all I have left is b, and I can solve for that. So 4 equals a -3 plus b. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. By using that point, I could figure out the one thing I was missing up here, the b. So I can go up here, and I wish I used erasable, but I have whiteout. So I'm going to take out that b, and instead I'm going to now put that 7 right there. And I am done with the problem. So it's a little swing back, but I think it's easier than the original way. In fact, this is, let me just show you so you kind of go, this is the other way right here. And I think that looks more confusing with the using the other form. So we're going to stick to this. I used this way in my other algebra class too, and it went over better. So, all right. So again, we're trying to do slope-intercept form. When you're trying to, and they tell you to do this, this is our last problem, by the way. So then we'll be done. We're not going to do this last one, so you can have some time to start your homework. Start with what they're asking for. Now, they give you the slope or the y-intercept? Well, that is a big no. All they give you is 2 points. Okay, that doesn't help me. 1 point helped me here, but I had the slope to go off of. Can I get the slope with 2 points? Of course you can. We just did that in the warm-up. Where's that warm-up? Where is the warm-up? Here it is. You just did this. 2 points, and you got the slope. We're going to do that here. So go ahead and get the slope of these 2 points right now. I'm just putting the formula down. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to let you do it. Okay, I'm going to start doing it and see what the answer is here, and you can see if you're right. Y is on the top. -3 minus 1 over. X is on the bottom. 2 minus 4. -3 minus 1 is a -4. 2 minus 4 is a -2. And that gives you a +2 for an answer. Okay. So now I got my slope. See, I just put that right in there for the m. So now I am back. That was just one little extra thing you had to do on this problem that you didn't have to do over here because I gave you the slope. So you just had to get the slope. Now we're back to a problem like this, where we have this, and I actually have 2 points, so I don't need both of them, but I have to pick one of them to pop in like I did over here. I'm going to choose the one where they're both positive, so I'm not going to use this one anymore. I'm going to just pick this. If you pick this, that's okay. You'll get the same answer, but I'm going to pick the positive. So this is my x and this is my y. So 1 equals 2 times the x, which is 4, plus b. So now we can figure out b and go back and put it in here. So 1 equals 8 plus b. And then I got b equals -7. See if you got the same thing. Now what do? I just got to seal the deal, you guys. Where does that -7 go? Right there, exactly. Take that out and put that -7 in. That is my answer. So I wasn't quite done. I had a b here. I had to substitute the point in, either one, get my b, and then go back. So I can only have the x and the y in there. I can't have the b in there. And neither of these is the b. You got to figure the b out. Woofda! All right. So that is, wow, 30 minutes. So that leaves a little bit of time for you to work on your homework and get started. But feel free to re-watch any parts that you may have not caught the first time. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.